Hey traders, Ron here, Traders Academy. And as you know, it's our goal to coach and train traders of all levels. Typically we do that through our podcasts, our blogs, our meetups, and our webinars. But a few weeks ago we had the idea to put out through social media a question to all of you asking, what is your biggest challenge or obstacle that's preventing you from creating consistent trading results? And the response was overwhelming. So what we decided to do was take those responses and create a series of mini courses, each one answering a specific response. So we hope you enjoy these, hope you find them informative, and thanks for watching. Hello everyone. The question we're dealing with in this session is fear, or the fear of trading. And the question we received was, overcoming the fear involved in jumping into the market when I know I don't know very much about it. It's hard to learn from books, and classes seem to be for the advanced traders or people that have been in the business for years, not for the beginner. So first I want to commend you for not just jumping right in. You have the foresight to realize that you don't know enough to trade, and therefore you keep to the sidelines. But at the same time, you still have a desire to learn. And so many traders that I've seen do exactly the opposite. They don't take the time to learn, they just fund their account, start trading, and the results are usually not very good. And I do agree with you, most books are lacking the necessary amount of information needed to prepare you for actual trading. But what you need to realize is that learning to trade is going to be a process. And like with any process, you will need to follow a specific order to accomplish your goal. And I also agree with you that most classes seem to talk way above the attendees' heads, and this is by design. It's not their goal to give you the proper amount of knowledge to enable you to actually trade with any success, but instead it's their goal to give you just enough information for you to become interested enough to continue with them and take more classes. It's called the upsell. And this process goes on until they manage to extract as much money from you as they can, and still in most cases, even then you're not ready to trade any real money. Now, as we've stated, learning the amount of information needed to safely begin trading will be a process. But the good news is that by breaking it down into separate pieces of a larger puzzle, it will make the process much easier to complete. But what you don't want to do is try and learn it all at once. In that scenario, we'll end up trying to juggle too many pieces at one time, and that will greatly affect your learning ability. So now let's identify the pieces so that you can get started. And before we identify the individual pieces, I want to first say that I feel it's important to try and attack these pieces in a specific order. What you want to happen is, as you progress through each piece, that they build on each other. In other words, you want the first piece to be a foundation for the second part, and those two parts to be a foundation for the third part, etc. If you start jumping around, you lose continuity, and it will just make the whole process far more difficult. Okay, let's move on to the steps. So breaking it down, first you want to decide which market you're going to want to trade. Later you can trade multiple markets, but first you need to master one. So your choices are going to be equities and options on equities, futures and options on futures, and currency and options on currency. Keep in mind that the choices on the last slide are a little misleading because first you're going to need to decide between equities, futures, and currencies. Then, once you pick whichever one that you want to trade, you can either trade them directly, in other words, buy or sell the underlying security directly, or you may decide you want to trade them via options. And if that's the case, then you would also have to study option trading in addition to all that. But the good news is that once you understand how options work, you can apply that to any of the three. So once you make your selection, and in the event you want to go with options, then the next piece of the puzzle will be technical analysis. And this will be the basis for all your decisions on picking the trade, when and where to open the trade, and when and where to close the trade. And almost all of your decisions will be made using technical analysis. And the theory behind this is that all known information is already priced into the stock or whatever instrument you've chosen. So all of this information is reflected in the charts. So hence, all of your decisions should be based on the charts. Now, this may seem like the most complicated piece to master, but if you look at it just like we're looking at the overall process, break it down into digestible pieces, then it's going to be much easier to understand and it will not be that hard. Next, we're going to want to move on to fundamental analysis. This section will be the easiest because we only need to understand what events or announcements will be made that could affect the price movement of whatever you are trading. In essence, it's just being aware of the news events, what and when they'll be released, and again, just basically being aware of what's happening. And the last major puzzle piece is what I believe to be the most important by far, and that is trading psychology. And few people even teach this because few people understand how much damage can be caused. And as a trader, you can study all you want, prepare yourself with as much market knowledge as possible, create a perfect trading plan, and we're going to talk more about that soon. But what I can promise you is that no matter how prepared you are to trade, whatever market you've picked, there are three things that will cause any and most traders to fail. And those three things are fear, greed, and ego. And if left unchecked, these three emotions will cause you to make decisions that are damaging to the extent that 90% of most beginning traders fail and totally give up. Now, I don't want to scare you away, but instead just make you aware of exactly how important it will be to spend extra time on this section. And it's a 100% sure thing that you will need to understand how your emotions are going to react during your decision-making process and have the proper measures and safeguards in place to keep you out of trouble. And the last piece of this process for you to complete is going to be the fun part, and that's putting everything together and creating your trading plan. Every new business should have a solid business plan before they ever open for business, and your trading will be a business also, and it will need a trading plan. You will need to sit down and create and actually write out your trading plan, and this will be a set of rules that you will use to make all of your trading decisions based on the other pieces of information you've already mastered. The purpose of this is for you to have in place a solid set of rules to guide you through your everyday decision-making process. And the reason for having this in place is because without it, you will be left to your emotions, and I can promise you that we're right there beside you, making your decisions for you, and I can also promise you, you will not like the outcome. Okay, now that you've completed and assembled all the process pieces, you're ready to begin trading. You should now have enough knowledge and skills in your toolbox that your fear of jumping into the market is gone. And if all of this that we've covered seems like a mountain of information to fully understand, I can promise you it's not. In fact, we've broken down the process into these same exact pieces and created a class that takes you through the same exact learning process, and we accomplished this task in just 3 days. And we've produced thousands of successful traders using this class. Now, in ending this mini course, I want to say that in no way do I want to scare you away from this. In fact, I would strongly encourage anyone with an interest to pursue trading, and I can also promise you that there is not another profession out there that can produce the types of profits possible through trading. And yes, there is an equal amount of risk, but if you're not prepared, but you are going to be prepared. Just keep in mind that I'm sure that by now you're aware of more successful traders, the ones you hear on CNBC, the ones that are always being interviewed. And I can promise you that they are no smarter than you. And the only difference is that they went through a process of learning that put them in a position of success and has rewarded them beyond their wildest dreams. So please stop letting fear control you. Just break it down into learnable pieces and start working your way through the process. But in case all of this still seems too large for task for you to take on, I would like to suggest another option. Instead of taking all this on by yourself, maybe you should consider coaching. Coaching is something that is used by every successful professional, at the same time something that almost is never thought about by the average person. But think about this for a second. Pro golfers have coaches. Pro boxers have coaches. Sports teams have coaches. Pro skiers have coaches. Actors have coaches. Even rock bands have coaches. And the list could go on and on, but I think you're starting to get the idea. And one thing you may not know is that traders have coaches also. In fact, I can promise you that all successful professional traders have coaches. Matter of fact, all large brokerage firms employ in-house coaches to support their own in-house traders. And matter of fact, when I worked on Wall Street, I used their in-house coach quite a bit. So whatever path you decide to take, I just want to encourage you not to give up on your dream to become a trader. There is not another business in any field that has the potential to produce the kinds of gains possible as a trader. Remember, it's all about following the process, breaking it down into workable sections that you can tackle with ease. And remember, if you don't feel like going it alone, consider coaching. We want to thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed it and hope that the information that you got can in some way help improve your trading. And if you'd like to watch the entire series for free, all you have to do is go to tradersacademy.org. That's tradersacademy.org. Fill out the form, give us your email address, and we'll send you a link to the entire series. Plus, we'll give you a free copy of our Reprogramming the Trader's Mindset book, and we'll give you access to a free 1/2 hour private coaching session. So if you'd like to take advantage of this offer, again, that's tradersacademy.org, tradersacademy.org, and thank you for watching.